This is the most important thing you need to know about Morgan Freeman. The man despises being offered race-based political opinions just because of the color of his skin. Morgan Freeman is not your therapist, publicist, or sociology professor all at once. But it seems like someone forgot to tell The View. They asked him to be on the panel only so they could take a cheap shot at his dignity. First, they only granted him 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It takes less time than that to microwave a frozen lasagna. Instead of allowing him to discuss his new documentary, they tried to pull him into politics. That's like asking Shakespeare to come to your house and write your tweets for you, but you don't have to take my word for it. Let's roll the clip, watch closely, and be ready to grimace.
Been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. I mean, 6 times. Large portions of life. Not human life we're talking just life. Gone, destroyed. We're headed for another one. Scientists have said if we don't hurry up and change our ways, there's going to be a cataclysmic event that will wipe many of us off the face of.
The panel is really playing with fire here when it comes to Morgan Freeman. And let's be honest, if you're going to walk a thin line with anyone, Morgan Freeman is not your guy. This is the man who can narrate penguins waddling around Antarctica and make it sound like the climax of a Shakespeare play. Yet here they are, poking the bear while he's only trying to promote his documentary Life on Our Planet. Now, granted, both that documentary and the one about Black history they discussed afterward are easy to push into political territory. Environmentalism and race relations are basically the express lanes to heated disputes. But let's pump the brakes for a second on the doomsday hyperbole around climate change. This whole extinction-level catastrophe narrative, that kind of cataclysm happens once every tens of millions of years. The dinosaurs had it rough, certainly, but your Prius isn't about to trigger the next meteor strike. Human-caused climate change, anthropogenic, if you want to flex at parties, has only been a factor for about 200 years. So yes, the environment is changing, and yes, it deserves serious attention. But the panel was practically selling tickets to the end of the world. Even the most extreme scenarios project about 2 to 4 degrees Celsius of warming. That's not nothing, it's serious. But it doesn't exactly scream, pack your bags, the asteroid is coming. The broader issue, modern environmentalism, sometimes veers into this strange anti-human, anti-growth worldview, as if mankind itself is the villain in a Marvel movie. And watching the View panel, you can't help but notice that mood creeping in, doomsday prophecies served with a side of guilt-tripping.
Yeah.
She'll stay.
Yeah.
Well, it's tenacious if we would just leave it alone. Leave it alone. The human interruption of all of that is what's causing all the problems. I hope that it's...
See what I mean? The instant you make the planet and the environment the main character of the drama, you inevitably start casting humans as the mustache-twirling villain. That's exactly the argument Joy Behar parroted straight from the far-left environmentalist playbook. And you could practically see Morgan Freeman's soul sigh. That was not the route he wanted to take, and definitely not the interpretation of his documentary he signed up for. Here's the thing. Over 99% of all species that have ever lived on Earth are already extinct. Dinosaurs, trilobites, giant sloths, you name it, gone. Life bursts in and out like a cosmic game of whack-a-mole. But the planet itself, this rock is tougher than a stale bagel. It has survived ice ages, meteorites, and whatever fashion choices we made in the 80s. And get this, I'm not even exaggerating, there's apparently a fringe group online campaigning for the deliberate extermination of the human race to save the world. Yep. Apparently, the solution is for all of us to quietly exit stage left so Earth can enjoy some alone time. That's the environmental equivalent of breaking up with someone by saying, "It's not you. It's literally every human alive." This is what happens when a good, necessary idea, caring for the world, gets pushed so far it collapses under its own weight. Morgan Freeman clearly wants no part of that kind of radicalism. And honestly, same here. I'm all for rescuing the planet, but I'd prefer to stick around afterward to enjoy it. You could practically taste the awkward tension on that panel. Everyone instantly realized they'd just been gently corrected by Morgan Freeman, and no one wanted to be the first to make eye contact.
Ask you about a different documentary.
Go ahead.
As some politicians around the country try to erase Black history, you're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past, including this documentary that you executive produced called 761st. Did I get that right? Yeah, 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers, about the first Black battalion to fight in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes.
I mean, come on. The man has more gravity in his pinky finger than the entire studio combined. And what do? They gave him 5 minutes. 5. That's barely enough time for Morgan Freeman to finish a sentence, let alone unpack a documentary. Honestly, it felt less like an interview and more like speed dating with Morgan Freeman, except instead of romance, they served up unsolicited political framing. And here's the kicker. Sonny Hostin, not Austin, though it does sound like a diet drink, pulled the exact same maneuver Joy Behar had just tried. Different documentary, same move. This time, it was his film on Black history. They tried to make Freeman the reluctant mascot of whatever social message they wanted to sell, but you could see him gently, firmly rejecting it. It was like inviting Gordon Ramsay to cook, then handing him a microwave burrito.
And start in the 40s and move up. And how many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
There were servants. They were always. I know it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch old movies, Betty Davis movies are particularly, even though she's great, and
it's the period.
It's not her fault. It's the period. It's
just
upsetting to watch. To tell you the truth.
It shouldn't be that way because somebody did make money. And now it was that.
You just don't do that. The whole incident showed how badly they miscalculated. Morgan Freeman doesn't need their narrative. He is the narrative. It's pretty simple. You can't make someone feel like a victim if they've already decided they're not going to play that role. And that right there is exactly what I love about Morgan Freeman. The man carries the quiet confidence of someone who refuses to shoulder baggage that isn't his. And if you don't believe me, if you think I'm overselling it, go back and watch that old 60 Minutes interview. It's practically a masterclass in how to dismantle the victim narrative with nothing more than calm common sense and a voice that could convince you to refinance your mortgage. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. I'm going to quit calling you a white man. Yeah, and I'm going to beg you to stop calling me a Black man. Nobody on that panel could muster a serious rebuttal. How could they? The man has lived it all. Born in 1937, now 84, Freeman has witnessed the arc of American society bend and twist over decades. That kind of perspective isn't something you can fact-check on Google. It's etched into his worldview, which is why everything he says carries so much weight. And he's right. Art is a mirror of its culture, and culture is constantly evolving. What feels groundbreaking today could look outdated tomorrow, and that's part of the beauty. Dragging the past into the courtroom of present-day morality isn't just short-sighted. It's disrespectful to the artists who carve the path forward. You don't honor history by rewriting it with today's hashtags. And I'd bet good money Morgan Freeman doesn't want that fate for himself either. When history remembers him, as it absolutely will, he'd want to be seen in the fullness of his time, not as some one-dimensional figure filtered through tomorrow's outrage.